Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Most of Math podcast. I'm your co-host, Caden De La Garza, a journalism major at the University of Oklahoma with aspirations to be a Dallas Mavericks sports journalist. To my left is my co-host, Jude Halbert. How are you doing today, Jude?
Well, in times where it feels like, winning is, not the best option, I like to think of this guy. Shout out. If anyone needs to go to bed with a smile on their face, just watch some Dirk highlights. I promise you to cheer you up. That's my plan for the night.
41 minutes of
definitely not gonna be watching highlights from these Mavs.
41 minutes of straight swishes. Is that the one you're gonna watch?
Yeah, there's an hour-long version of the one-leg fade. Might dabble in that for maybe do half and half. Yeah, these games are brutal.
I really like PJ Washington highlights from last year.
Yeah,
I love some PJ highlights. Because with his time with the Mavericks, a lot of it was spent off ball, and you never really get to see what he can do as a creator for a lot of his stint here. And for people that don't know, dude, PJ Washington was a highly touted recruit coming out of high school with a bag. And he went to Kentucky, and they kind of diluted his game a little bit over there, made him into a little bit of a role player. But still, I mean, he came into the NBA thriving with that. So I might be watching some PJ Washington highlights because I haven't seen a little bit of him recently. And he is kind of, next to Dorian Finney-Smith, he's probably one of my favorite Mavericks role players to ever play basketball.
Yeah, I can get down with that. I was reminded tonight on my timeline of the first game post-trade. Oh, man. The post-trade trade for Gafford and PJ, the 24 season.
That was against the Thunder too, right?
And all the lobs and Luka toying with them. Man, good times those were, man. I sometimes feel like I took those times for granted.
Yeah, well, that time was 2 years ago around this time. And boy, do they look different. Mavericks lose 87-100 to the best team in the league, which you look at the game, wasn't too embarrassing in my point of view. They stayed competitive throughout. They actually went into halftime with the 9-point deficit, not too narrow, but not too wide. And they kind of held their own. Of course, the shooting wasn't great on either end, but some decent defense out of the guys. Not really too much work going to talk about in this game. We'll just look at the stats real quick. Chris Middleton had a quiet night with 4 points and 3 assists. Caleb Martin played 30 minutes, had 18 points. Pretty good game out of Caleb scoring-wise, which we don't see too often. Daniel Gafford with 8 and 7, 2 offensive boards. He had a couple assists, a steal, no blocks. Max Christie was our player of the game. He had 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals with 4 made threes, 63% true shooting percentage. The best on the team besides Dwight Powell. Actually, no, Caleb Martin had a pretty good true shooting percentage too with 66. Brandon Williams showed some good flashes again. Ryan Howard got off to a slower start, I guess you could say, scoring-wise, but when he was on the court, the offense was all right. He was one of the only 2 guys with a positive plus-minus at +1. The other was Cissé. He got 21 minutes, didn't do too amazing scoring. He got a bunch of rebounds, but, I mean, in this game, he got 12. I feel like he should have got 20 because, some rebounds just fall right through this guy's hands.
You noticed anything weird about his stats tonight?
He only shot 1 field goal attempt?
He had nothing besides
no blocks. Oh, my. Yeah.
I think I saw it was the first time ever.
That's the first time ever?
Well, somebody's had a stat line like that of 12 rebounds exactly.
And nothing else.
Stats.
2 turnovers.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he just it kind of reminds me of the earlier struggles that Derek Lively had. I remember he had some hand struggles where just everything would fall through his hands, and it would just be like, what? Like, I don't understand.
Early on, for sure.
Early on in a stint with the Mavericks. That's kind of something that Cissé struggled with this season. But I remember in the earlier parts where I'm like, who is this guy? Like, this guy is a ball of energy. He's faster than all of our centers. He moves probably better than all of our centers.
Mm-hmm.
He's just an athletic freak. I really like what Moose can be. I hope we do convert him. I don't know if we didn't, right? We didn't convert Moose Cissé.
I think it may happen soon.
I think it may happen soon. But yeah, Chris Middleton recently decided that he wants to stay as a Dallas Maverick. Dallas Mavericks just let go of Tyus Jones to create a roster spot for, or to create a contract spot for Ryan Nembhard. He's been converted to a 2-year deal as of late. You know, just a game, just a loss to the Thunder. I once said, yeah, we're not going to get too much into this, but you know, it adds on to what we want. It adds on to more losses, adds on to, you know, a potentially better draft pick. Let's just keep the losses coming. Because last night, hopped on 2K, my GM for first time in a minute.
Yep.
And started today, which was yesterday. And extended some guys during the season. You know, I did the little Tyus Jones wave, converted Ryan to a 2-year deal, went into the offseason, and your boy got the 2nd overall pick in the draft.
Yep.
And we picked AJ DeBonsa with Daniel Gafford. I moved him to another team, grabbed the 11th pick, along with trading for, I think I traded for a 2029 unprotected top 5 pick from the Detroit Pistons in exchange for our current 2029 pick, and drafted Michael Brown Jr. It was a great offseason for the Dallas Mavericks in the lens of Caden De La Garza. So let's just hope that this turns out in this offseason coming up. But yeah, not really too much to talk about it. I mean, do you have any thoughts about this game and what it means, or, you know, just another loss that we have?
Yeah, just another loss. The guys, they play hard. I feel like I'm a broken record. I say the same thing every time, but they play hard. I mean, like, this game, did you see the spread? This game was 16.5.
Ridiculous.
I mean, that is like, in the NBA, that's disgustingly high.
Mm-hmm.
And we covered. Shout out. We covered the spread. Like I said, they play hard even though there's not really a lot to play for. I didn't really talk on the Middleton thing. I'm really glad that he came back. Wasn't going to be surprised either way, but I do think he can be a nice bench piece. Like, if he's want to come off the bench next season for a reasonable contract, I'm really down for that. Now, obviously, depending on the draft pick, we'll see what happens with that. So we'll figure out this offseason what his role is going to be. Just one more thought on Musa. Honestly, is it a hot take to say he's okay? Tonight, obviously, you know, didn't score. It's kind of a whatever game. But the games he's played, is it a hot take to say he's played better than Daniel Gafford this season when he's played?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, of course, you have to factor in the injuries and the athletic, demise that has caused towards Daniel Gafford's this season for him. But no, it's not a crazy thing to say. I feel like personally, Moussa Cissé is more, if he can work on his hands, he's more of a lob threat. He gets up higher. His per 36 numbers when it comes to blocks are absolutely ridiculous.
The monster defensively, yes.
He's a defensive monster. Sometimes it looks like he has no idea what he's doing out there, which, that's what you get with younger players. And we're going to develop him into a much better player. He still is a two-way guy. But still, he has a great impact on the floor at all times. He's not the scorer that Gafford is, because I still believe that Gafford is a very underrated scorer as a center. The way he gets downhill, his very high field goal percentage in the paint area. But no, Moussa Cissé, saying that he's having a better season than Daniel Gafford is not a stretch at all by far. And then you also have to factor in, like, Marvin Bagley is also doing that too. So there is still a real possibility that we see Daniel Gafford moved in this offseason, especially if we get blessed with a very good draft pick and we're like, hey, we got a top 5 pick. We can go get one of the top 5 guys. Hey, we don't need to get a point guard right now, but hey, what if we move up to the 11th spot? What if we move up to the 12, 10 spot with a pick, with a first-round pick, a future first-round pick, and Daniel Gafford? I see them definitely doing that in the draft. which is why I believe that the draft is the most likely scenario where Daniel Gafford will get sent. Because to keep it real, he still hasn't had those crazy moments that you expect out of Gafford this season.
Yeah, it really just started from the training camp. I think Tim McMahon said 10 minutes into it, he messed up his ankle. He just hasn't been the same. He's just kind of a weird fit on this team. I don't really know how to explain it because in theory, you would say Gafford is like a rim rolling big, but Musa just fits because like I think I see Musa like his ceiling I would say like a Clint Capella type of big, which is a really nice big. And again, the contract he's on, I mean, it's going to be very cheap compared to Gafford, who we just extended for a lot of money, and it's not really worth. I mean, okay, as of right now, if you had to make a bet, and I know who I would bet, but who would you say is going to be the starting center come training camp? I know who I would bet.
It has to be Derek Lively in my eyes.
Yeah,
it has to be Derek Lively in my eyes.
Yeah, and that right there, to me, I just don't like a backup big making as much money as that. Whenever Musa has shown that he can, in spurts, give you really good minutes. Again, I think they're going to probably have to get a third big maybe somewhere because you can't just have Lively. You just can't trust Lively. God, it's so sad every time I say it, but you just can't trust him. But I do expect Gafford to get moved. I don't know what his value is on the market. Like you said, maybe they package a pick together, but I don't even know if I'd be willing to do that, Caden. I can't lie because just the future assets, like you just don't want to give them up unless it's like something really. I mean, if they can get into the top 50, back in the lottery, then yeah, okay, sure. Because this draft is unlike any draft. I mean,
if you have two picks in the top 12 draft, you can change the course of your franchise. You really can.
You can, yeah. I just don't know if teams are going to be willing to give it up. Now, there are a lot of poorly run teams that will never change. Shout out the New Orleans Pelicans, who are winning games. Shout out the Pelicans.
They are winning games.
They're only two. Right now. Keep your eye on the Pelicans because they are only 2 wins behind us, and they have no incentive to lose. I keep texting you, let's go Pelicans. They just got DeJounte Murray back. No, it's nothing. I mean, it is Mavs related because we can move. That's a big jump from 7 to 6, and that's at this point realistically the highest we could get is 6. But anything helps. And man, I was telling somebody today, man, I don't know what the situation with Cooper is. I mean, how many more wins? Like, I would put the max at 5. I mean, I'm like not even. Is that even crazy to say?
Before we shut him down?
No, just the rest of the season. Like, how many more wins are we going to have? Because I don't even know. I don't know what the situation with Cooper is. I don't know if they're totally okay with just kind of shutting him down and, they don't really care about the rookie of the year. I don't know what their thought process is, but even whenever he goes off, and you talked about it before, it's not like we win every game. He's a rookie. He's not going to impact winning like other, I would consider him a star, like other stars in the league right off the bat. So I just don't know. What do you think?
I don't think we win more. I mean, it's just, I'm looking at the schedule,
I think is second hardest left.
Or the next 5 games. So the next 5 games, at least, this is what I can see on StatViews right now. We've got Charlotte. That's probably a loss. Orlando. I don't know how hot they've been roster comparison wise. That's probably a loss. Going into Boston, that's probably a loss.
I think that might be Tatum return game. Yeah.
Yeah. Toronto, that may be a loss.
Atlanta, we have a road trip coming too.
We have a pretty large road trip coming up. And then we have 2 games against the Cavs. Those are probably both losses. So, yeah, with 5 games the rest of the season, it's definitely, you could see that not happening. Or if they get to like the 5 or 6 game mark where they win, I could see that possibly happening, especially if you bring back Cooper. If PJ comes back in the mix, Najee didn't play this game. Najee comes back in the mix. You have a second big that you can roll out there that's pretty good, and Derek and Marvin Bagley the third. they could string some wins together against some weaker teams, but it's still a pretty rough schedule that we have coming up. So, 5 wins potentially,
Yeah, and
potentially they
the
win.
two-way guys that we signed recently, it really feels like they're going all out for this tank. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
Just seeing guys, being listed out, even Clay in this game. I don't know how badly he was injured, but he
He was
left
just
the
resting. He was just
game.
resting. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
This game. Yeah, this game. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know how. I think there was just purely precaution. I mean, there's no point to really put him in a spot where he could mess it up even more, whatever the injury was. And
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
know he's had some
I think
stuff
they're
with
going
his
all in on
knee.
this tank.
Yeah. I know he's had some stuff with his knee, at least from injury reports throughout the season. Knee soreness, stuff like that. He hasn't been playing a lot of back-to-back games. I think ever since he's had that knee injury, he hasn't played any back-to-back games. But, the Mavericks, the thing about the Mavericks roster is, they don't have their stars, but they have a lot of guys that can score the basketball. And a lot of those guys are injured right now. So if they were to come back, they could string in some wins, and they do play a lot better when they have Ryan Nembhard playing the point guard. Usually they play a lot better when they have Ryan Nembhard running the show. So again, it's a hard schedule they have coming up. A lot of away games, which I'm pretty sure they play better on the road this season. Let's hope that trend doesn't continue. But go back to Musa and Gafford, the comparison. Per 75 possessions, Gafford averages 13, 10, and 1 assist. He's got a couple turnovers, 2.2 blocks per 75 possessions. His true shooting percentage is better, but he's a better free throw shooter. His field goal percentage is about the same. Musa Cissé averages 11, 13 rebounds, almost 14, 13.8 rebounds. He beats him in that category. He loses him in the assist, turnover, those categories, but he averages an entire block more than him per 75 possessions with 3.2. So with this much of a similar stat line and both of them being a very similar big, a two-dimensional big, where it's just, defense and rim running. If you have Gafford right now and you're paying him $19 million a year, and you have Musa Cissé and you could get him for 3 or 5 for the next 2 or 3 years, it's a no-brainer. And especially when you have Marvin Bagley that's going to come in, and he's going to be a lot cheaper of a center.
Oh, I forgot about him earlier. Shout out.
Yeah,
he's a good
Marvin Bagley, I believe, is better than Daniel Gafford. And
yes, he's played better. He's also another one I talked about earlier. He's played better.
Yep. And what I love about him is he's a three-dimensional big. A three-dimensional big that you can bring in that can shoot threes. He's shooting 45% this season. He's a decent free throw shooter. He gets downhill even better than Daniel Gafford. Gets downhill from the three-point line sometimes and gets some tough buckets. Has a really good hook shot. And he's just a really good all-around center, but he adds another dimension to being a center that you don't get out of Daniel Gafford. And that's very valuable in today's NBA, especially when you can get him for under $10 million, which we predict that Marvin Bagley will be, if not just a little bit more than that. But yeah, I mean, probably enough with the Mavericks. I kind of wanted to talk about
we talked
stuff
about that
going on. Yeah. Dude. So Lou Dort and Nikola Jokic got in a fist fight the other night, or Lou Dort, another just dirty play, off an inbound. Jokic is running down the court, and Lou Dort sticks his ass out and trips Nikola Jokic as he falls in the court. Turns around and what are you talking about? We've seen this out of Lou Dort so much, and it's just crazy how he's just now getting backlash for this, because he's been doing it his entire career. One of the dirtiest players in the league. And then it causes a fight. Jokic grabs Jalen Williams and literally does the Joker face with the yellow teeth and all.
That was scary, man.
Right. Dude, a 7-foot Serbian with his 2 7-foot Serbian brothers behind him in the crowd. It's a pretty intimidating guy. But, dude, just this Lou Dort stuff, he's in the same tier for me as just a Dylan Brooks, as a Draymond Green, as Rudy Gobert. It's just but it's subtle and it's petty, And I would much rather, get bullied by Dylan Brooks or Rudy Gobert or Draymond Green because they're upfront about it. The way that Lou
Yes.
Dort does it is just such a petty manner, and it's just so hard to watch a player like that, especially when their team is so good and they just play basketball in such a beautiful way. Sadly, my Oklahoma City friends are going to watch this and they're going to see what I say about them. But dude, watching OKC is just such beautiful basketball, defensively and offensively. The way they move the ball around, the way they move around the court, everything about their team is just so beautiful, and they have a black hole on their roster that just everyone despises at this point, or I hope that everyone despises at this point, because he's just like the way he is dirty is just in such a petty manner is just so annoying to watch.
Yeah, because like you said, like the Thunder, their roster is so well constructed. Just everyone knows their role. And like you said, Lou Dort, he sticks out like a sore thumb. Because it's you said it perfect. The Draymonds of the world, even the Dylan Brooks, who I've actually grown to respect a ton. Especially this season, guys like that, like at least they are like, yes, I am, doing these things, and I am a dirty like Lou Dort. He's the type of guy that does this, and then every single time he acts like he's like, "What are you talking about? I didn't." He like looks around. He's like, "What, me?" I mean, that's the most frustrating.
And it's like every game against the star player too. It's like every game against the star. I've seen him try to roll Steph's ankle. I've seen him kick out in front of shooters on their.
Yeah, remember he punched Derek Lively in the crotch.
Yeah,
in the playoff series. Yeah, I know, and like I think the trip wasn't necessarily like it's. I know the ejection was warranted because it's Lou Dort. If there was somebody else, it's like okay, he had a dirty play, but it was Lou Dort. You just get him out. And if you just watch him play, like he doesn't even really play basketball. I hate to say that because, like you said, the Thunder, they're so fun to watch, but when you watch him, the way he plays defense, it's like the refs don't really know what to do with him almost. Like they kind of let him go away with a lot, but it's like he shouldn't even have the respect of like an elite defender because he's not necessarily an elite defender. It's just they let him get away with so much, and he's so big.
They kind of disguise it very well because team philosophy-wise, their defense has always been every game, every minute. They are always setting the table for the tenacity and the aggression that a team should play defense. Warranted, they get a lot of calls because they set that table for the officials to officiate the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a philosophy for basketball, especially in the playoffs. If you get off very physical, then that's how the game's going to be for the entire game. But it's just the way, I was really, really pushing that they should probably approaching the deadline, they should trade him. They really should trade him because his value is in the public limelight. It's higher than what it probably actually is, towards NBA franchises. His value is higher than what it should be. And if they imagine what they could have been if they traded Lou Dort, packaged a couple picks, and they got Trey Murphy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, even like a Sadiq Bey.
Oh my gosh, dude. They would be
Yeah.
a different basketball team, dude.
Presti just doesn't really make moves like that, like mid-season. I mean, he rarely does. I for sure, honestly, I was pretty confident he was going to get moved. I mean, there wasn't a ton of rumors, but there was enough smoke where it was like, okay, you could see it happening. They kind of had a lull coming up to the deadline, just like, they lack some 3-point shooting. I think that's definitely their weakness. And they definitely could have swung for someone, but I mean, Lou Dort, I mean, what else does there really say? I mean, everyone that knows basketball knows what Lou Dort is. And
He plays like a football player. He plays like a football player.
And they let him
Just
get
like
away
football
with
player.
it. And there's not really much else to say. I mean, I don't know how that guy is somehow like a high 30s 3-point. I mean, every time I see him shoot, I think it's like, I'm like, when does he make shots? I mean, every time I see him shoot as a brick.
Oh my gosh, dude. Whenever they were playing us in the playoffs, I was like, dude, this guy's gonna win the series if he keeps it up. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if it was last year or if it was when they were playing us, but dude, he was shooting like
Well, I think it was last
twice.
year, the
I think
Nuggets
it was.
series.
He was like ridiculous from three, and it's just such a. It hits the ceiling. The ball
Yeah, it
hits the
does.
ceiling every single
Hits the
time it goes
scoreboard.
up too. But no, I mean the Thunder, the Thunder are the Thunder. You
Yeah.
can't really say too much bad about them other than, you know, Lou Dort and the way they play or their media stuff. But, you know, you can't really get too mad at people that are having fun. But a move that they made that is just, oh my gosh, how did the NBA let this happen? Was getting Jared McCain for what they got him for.
Can't believe
They
it.
didn't give up. I mean, comparative to the
Protected
assets they
picks.
have, they didn't give up a lot. They didn't give up a lot compared to the assets that they have, and they get what they needed. I've always thought that they like could use a backup big that can come in and actually is a big to take some load off Hart. But now that I've been watching them a little bit more, I understand that they're a wing focused team and they always want switchable guys out there. So it makes sense that they didn't get a big. But dude, adding another ball handler, certified point guard that can come off your bench and run your offense and can score too.
Score quickly. Yes.
Score quickly.
He's such a
really
good player, man. It's so stupid how they got him. Because honestly, I want to say that they have like more draft picks and like available roster spots. So they kind of like have to kind of make some moves in the next couple of years just because Presti's stock is a freaking war chest of draft picks. But I can't believe the Sixers sold McCain. I mean, well, I say that. I wanted McCain. My dream fit for him was the Timberwolves. Because, I mean, to me, that's perfect because they need another guard like that. They've been relying on Mike Conley for way too long. I like the DeSumo pickup, but but McCain, he had everyone thought he was going to be rookie of the year last year, and then he got injured, and then it's kind of just been weird ever since. And he was never really going to play behind, especially now they have Edgecombe,
so many
and Maxey.
guards.
Yeah, I know.
So many guards.
So I understand why the Sixers did it, but why the Thunder? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I can't believe they got him either. I mean, every game I watch him, he's a perfect fit. And he's also kind of got that, like, young, like, kind of vibe they got going on. With, like, he fits right in. Right
fits in perfectly with them.
He's already doing the barking stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I mean, I would love to see him go to Minnesota, as you said. I mean, his fit in OKC is great. What they have going on there is great, and they're going to have, they're going to be good for so many years. And, I mean, let's hope, Dallas and San Antonio are probably the next up for teams that are going to be competitive hopefully near that level. But, it's getting to the point where you got to lose games. And sadly, that's what the main point is for the Dallas Mavericks now. And, it's a tough watch. It's been pretty hard for me to watch and hard for me to transition from that. I want to see them win and I want to see them get these W's to the point where I'm kind of rooting against them, or I'm kind of rooting that, Caleb Martin gets more shots. I'm kind of rooting that
AJ Johnson gets more minutes.
Yeah, AJ Johnson gets more minutes.
And he will down the stretch.
He will. He got 34 the other night.
Hilarious Jason Kidd quote. Did you see it? Hopefully we can see AJ get more minutes. Like, you're the coach, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah. Hopefully we can see AJ.
What are you talking about? No, love Jason Kidd. But I know it's actually, like I said earlier, those two-way guys we signed, I would not be surprised if those guys get 20, 30 minutes down the stretch. Like, just see, like, if you can show me anything, for next season. I mean, that's really – we understand the assignment. And like I said, the last podcast, the fan base understands the assignment, the rest of the season. And we know that it's the best thing for the future. And it sucks. But like you say, every time it's the best thing for this franchise.
Yep. It is. Sadly, it is. But, yep. All right. That's pretty much all we got to talk about today. It's been a wonderful pleasure having you all listening to us. But I've been Caden Ilagarza. To my left, my good old buddy Jude. This has been Most of the Mavs. We bring you game time reporting some fun commentary on some games, depending on the mood that we're in. It changes from time to time. But no, check us out on TikTok, Instagram. Go follow the X. We're on Threads and Facebook, but interaction on there aren't too plentiful. But hey, if you want to give us a follow, go do that. All right? Yeah, no. It's been a good time. It's been a great night. Good loss. We'll catch y'all later.